All right, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. It is time for the Raiderland and the daily broadcast. Glad you're out there wherever you may be. Hopefully, you're getting a little rain around West Texas. Hopefully, none of the really bad, severe weather doesn't seem too bad here on a Tuesday night. Tuesday night, that means it's Tuesday's best. That means we're going to get a topic out there for you to give us two best examples of, oh, wait, yeah, tonight. Joe Ely songs. Two greatest Joe Ely songs. Get that in. Did Tech Baseball learn something the last two games? Nice win at Abilene Christian last night. And how did I know it wasn't going to rain in Lubbock tonight? Well, they canceled the game that was going to be played tonight yesterday. Anytime you do the preemptive cancelization, you know it's not going to work out. Portal news, sure, we got all of that. And does anybody care if Utah leaves the Big 12? There's all this internet chatter, all of this podcast chatter that Utah is going to go to the Big Ten. Well, here's to you, Utah. Go to the Big Ten. I don't think anybody cares. All of that tonight, and later on, we're going to visit with Kim Sansom from the Silver Spur Trade Shows, the Lubbock Gun and Knife Show coming up this weekend at the Civic Center in the Hubaplex. I believe this is 20 years of that going on. Hey, we're going to be out there Saturday, hanging out, doing a little Saturday afternoon show with you guys. So come on out and see us. Kim's going to join us later on in the hour. All right, let's get it going. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt. TheRaiderland.com, the website you start your day. Raiderland hot links every morning, the coolest, hottest, freshest links from around the internet. Our question of the day, which today brought to you by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty, our realtor in Raiderland, Kyle Rogers. Check out his Facebook page because, you know, he's got new stuff all the time. Whether you're buying or selling, you make one call, but we make you make two calls on Tuesday's best. Today, it's the two greatest Joe Ely songs of all time. What do you got for me tonight? Also brought to you by the Silver Spur Trade Show, Lubbock Gun Blade Show coming up this Saturday and Sunday out at the Civic Center. We'll talk to Kim Sansom about that later on. All of your communications brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street, the official supermarket, grocery store, and whatever else you want to call it of Raiderland. Everything you need, they've got. You know, this time of year, you're busy. You got kids playing 5 different sports. There's no way you're going to be able to get home in time to cook a great meal. Hey, they've cooked it. Ready meals to go. You can pick those up at United Supermarkets. They are fantastic. And I'm not saying they're better than what you would make. I'm not going to say that. Maybe they are, though. Might be. United Supermarkets looking out for you this time of year when everybody's on the go. Check out the ready meals in the deli section where you are. All right, let's get it going tonight. Tuesday's best, two greatest Joe Ely songs of all time. Does anybody care if Utah leaves the Big 12? Does anyone care? We had Don Williams on from the AJ last night talking about Tech football. If you got stuff on that you want to talk about, we can. Transfer portal, it never ends, basketball or otherwise. And then baseball. I do want to talk about baseball tonight. No, they're not going to get an at-large bid. But did they learn something the last two games? The 12-8 win and then the 9-2 win last night. 12-8 there at Arizona State. The 9-2 win against Abilene Christian in Abilene, where you should never play. Did they learn something? You tell me. Jump in tonight on the chat line. This is all about you. So get the comments in. Let's get it going. Let's have a lot of fun tonight. And I really want our Joe Ely people jumping in this evening. The only thing that would make it even better if Joe Ely himself jumped in and said, these are the two greatest songs ever. Craig, the talking box is on. He gets in first. Facebook first tonight. I think I'm going to start a scoreboard. All right. Facebook, X, and YouTube, and who gets in first each night. So Facebook leads 1-0. Alan jumps in on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Thank you for being out there. Everybody on YouTube, please hit like, share, grow it, invite people in. BYU would be a Big Ten school before Utah, and the Cougs won't be invited anytime soon. That is factual for a lot of different reasons. The association with the Mormon Church, the biggest one. Let's just call the gorilla what it is. They don't like that. All right? So that's the end of that. And BYU doesn't really want to be in the Big Ten, I don't think. I think they're digging the deal they got. Big 12 lets them do their thing, be out there. We don't play on Sundays when you play. It's all good. There you go. Utah, on the other hand, is desperate for relevancy. You know, you would think they'd been in the Pac-12 since 1931, the way they act. Well, that's just me. James, another one, getting in on Facebook, giving the thumbs up. 2 greatest Joe Ely songs of all time. I thought about breaking it down into off an album and off a live recording, because you've got 3 definitive Joe Ely live recordings. Live Shots in 80, 90 live at Liberty Lunch there in Austin, and then another one in 2000 and live at Antone's. He used to call them snapshots from the road, is what he called the live albums. Then you have all the studio albums, which are great. Jeff, best Joe Ely song, Dig All Night. Good one. Utah's in the Big 12. Yes, we've done a deep dive research project here in Raiderland, theraiderland.com, brought to you by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty. You only make 1 call when you're buying and selling a house, but you got to make 2 calls when it comes to Tuesday's Best. Now, yeah, they're in. We looked it up. They're in. Utah's in. Now, they haven't done anything since they've been in, but they're in. Chris says, I guess Utah is already tired of finishing last in the standings in most sports. Yeah, so they want to finish last in the Big Ten. They think it'll make them look better. They are an insufferable lot, the Utes. And I would have never pegged them for that. I would have never guessed that prior to their associations with the Big 12. Really just never even really gave them much thought, much concern, or otherwise. They were out there. They were in Utah. We like Utah, nothing against Utah, but never really thought that there was anything about Utah and Utah fans or otherwise that was just anything other than, well, you're in Utah. That's nice. Alan jumps in on our YouTube channel. Right now, it's Raiderland on YouTube. Don't cost nothing. It's all free. Everybody who's watching on Facebook Live, hey, that's cool. Love it. Thank you. And make sure you subscribe to all of our platforms. Doesn't cost anything. Go over there to YouTube and hit subscribe. Joe Ely once left his car in the driveway of my grandparents' house, and the oil leak from his car stained the driveway. A longer story to share why he left it there. But you kind of baited the hook there, and now you don't throw it out. You know, Alan? How long was the car there? Did he ever come back and get the car? Honky Tonk Masquerade, quality song, West Texas Waltz, great song. Had me a cow dog and told me how now dog. Yeah. 2 good ones early on. That's early Ely, by the way. Very early Ely. Early Ely? If you'd ever had a, couple of kids, early Ely would have been a good one. Jeff, on YouTube, Utah fans make me almost miss Horns fans. I do have no, don't take this wrong. I am not a UT sycophant by any stretch of the imagination. But at least at least Texas brought something to the table. They truly did. They won games. They brought in eyeballs. They made you money. They made money. You made money off UT, as insufferable as their fans were. And they were. You did make money off them. Utah, in the words of Spike Dykes, they're just a bunch of eaters and riders. They're eating up the free meals and riding on the bus. They ain't doing nothing right now. Go ahead if you want to. Mike jumping in on Facebook. 2 greatest Joe Ely songs all time. Boxcars. The greatest version of Boxcars is on Live Shots. Lloyd Maines on steel guitar, Jesse Guitar Taylor playing against each other. Nothing better than the version of Boxcars on Live Shots. Which, if I had to rank this would be really hard. If you made me rank the live recordings of Ely, the rawness of Live Shots is incredible. Plus, you got Carlene Carter on there singing, and they were touring with the Clash at the time. They were in England and coming back between the states. This is in 1980, 81. That would be hard to rank over Liberty Lunch, but man, Liberty Lunch is just so driving to the poorhouse in a limousine. You do have Bluebird on there, which is my favorite version of that. And then you get to Live at Antone's in 2000, and you got Gallo del Cielo, me and Billy the Kid. You got me and Billy the Kid, I think, both on Liberty Lunch and on Antone's. Be very difficult for me to rank it, but if you want to go with Boxcars, that is to me the definitive Boxcars performance there on Live Shots. Good stuff. We're talking about Joe Ely's two greatest songs, Tuesday's Best. You only get two. Which two would you rank? Now, I put on the website this morning, theraiderland.com. I give you the link, a great version of Will You Settle for Love from Farm Aid in 1990. And over the years, that one has become, if not my favorite, certainly my favorite live recording from Ely. And that goes back into the 80s. It carries into the 90s. It was epic in concert, whether it was a big house or a small house. You could see him at the Depot Warehouse. You could see him at Farm Aid. You could see him wherever. And Settle for Love would just blow the roof off. It's a huge, massive song. And in fact, if you go back, one of the great Ely shows, he was backing Letter to Laredo. He performs at the Depot Warehouse. And this would have been in the fall of 95 into 96. So let's just say sometime during the fall winter of 95, 96. They play at the Depot Warehouse. And they bring on stage the steel guitar player's daughter, who'd gone to Lubbock High. She'd waitressed at Orlando's. She'd sung a little bit here and there. And brings on Natalie Maines during the encore to sing with Joe, Would You Settle for Love? Unbelievable. This is pre-Dixie Chicks by about 6 months or so, at least. Yeah, probably 6 months. 95, 96. Yeah. And it was one of the most electric encores that we have seen. Now, take all of your Dixie Chick, whatever, you may love them, hate her, or anything else. But you got to give Natalie Maines credit for just being an amazing singer. And at that time, you know, she was still Lloyd Maines' daughter who sometimes sang. And when we watched her that night there at Depot Warehouse doing Settle for Love, I'm just like, this is amazing. Then for me, I get into Gallo del Cielo, which is a Tom Russell song. Bluebird, which is a Butch Hancock song. And then I got about 35 other favorites. Where do you want to go? Give me your two favorite Joe Ely songs. That's Tuesday's Best tonight. Brought to you by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realtor, our realtor in Raiderland. Also, Texas Tech baseball. They win 9-2, and we can talk baseball anytime. They win 9-2 last night, playing a game they should never play because it was in Abilene against ACU. But Connor Mohan goes out there last night and dominates a bad team the way, well, pretty much no pitchers have dominated bad teams this year for Texas Tech. It was a midweek win the way you should get it. Where did he go last? Did he go 8, 7? Where did he go? I got to go to the stats. Where are you, Connor? Yeah, 6 innings last night. 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. A walk, 5 strikeouts. Gave up 2 doubles and a jack. That's exactly what your midweek guy should do against Abilene Christian, which it wouldn't be that surprising this time of year in late April, except you hadn't been doing that. Now, you combine that with what Zane Petty did against Arizona State Saturday afternoon in game 3 in Arizona with a great 8-inning performance. You've had your two best, in my opinion, back-to-back pitching performances this year. Now, I don't know if Connor Mohan can strike anybody out in the Big 12. I don't know. But I know he went out there and he did stuff that people hadn't been doing. I also know that the last two games, Peyton Schultz has gone out there and gotten you a bunch of hits and looked like a guy who deserves a chance to play. 3 for 5 last night after a nice third game Saturday. Souza gets out there, 2 for 5. Salvatore, Antonelli Salvatore. It was almost like Tim Tadlock after that second game loss Saturday, just said the hell with it and just threw guys out there, and some guys are responding. That's good. That's what you want. So am I telling you right now that Texas Tech is just going to sit there and roll the table from here and take 2 or 3 from Arizona this weekend and then sweep UT Rio Grande and go to West Virginia? Is it that way? Yeah, it's at West Virginia. No, I'm not. This is still all about 4 days in May. May 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. You got to win 4 games at the Big 12 tournament. But it's all about finding the parts and pieces. And I think you found a piece in Peyton Schultz. I think maybe you found a piece, maybe, with Mohan last night. In Zane Petty. Well, okay, let's go from there. Let's go from here back to the United Supermarkets chat line. Let's see what folks got to say tonight. Chris, they also apparently don't like truck stops. Utah hates truck stops. Truck stop conference. What do they have that the Big Ten is interested in? They're a school. They're in Utah, Salt Lake City, and that's about it. Western footprint, 2 schools out in California. You got a couple of schools out in California, and that's about it. It's about acquisition. Do you ever play the game Risk, Ryan? I don't know how old you are. You ever play the game Risk? College football conferences right now are all about Risk. Can I get Madagascar? Can I get the Urals? I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I really can't defend it, but I need to get it before the other guy gets it. James, back on our Facebook page. Keith Van Horn, the only player I know from Utah, and he retired 20 years ago. We had Rick Majerus. We got Rick Majerus stories, by the way. I don't want to tell it right now. I ain't going to do it. JC on our YouTube channel. Can't help with the Ely guy. Never heard of him. Wow. I can almost block you for that. Truly could. Utah research institution, don't care. Big Ten changed that. They don't care. Big Ten doesn't care anymore. Thought that was the reason Tech not there 10 years ago. 2 years ago, the rules were different. Alan, me and Billy the Kid, we never got along. Didn't like the way he buckled his belt and he wore his hat all wrong. Another great Ely song, Treat Me Like a Saturday Night. Yep. Very good song. Again, early Ely. Very early Ely. Easy for me to say. JC on YouTube. Utes are to BYU what A&M is to Texas, hence their inferiority complex. They seem to have it. Mike, I wore out a Live at Liberty Lunch cassette, old school, had the CD, wore it out. Back in the day, Mike getting in on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook. On our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, everybody who's watching tonight, sign up. Get us over 500. You don't have to watch it there. You can watch it wherever you want to watch it. Get us over 500 on that because it kicks in an algorithm that's really good. And wherever you are, hit share, hit like, and get people out there. Yeah, Liberty Lunch. So Cabaret Cafe, when it opens in 1997, on 34th Street. It had the greatest jukebox ever. And it had the Live at Liberty Lunch full CD on the jukebox. We wore that thing out. Favorite Joe Ely band, the one with David Grissom, Mike McCarty, Gary Fukunaga on bass, Jesse Guitar Taylor, a lot of iterations. Of course, Lloyd Maines on steel. That goes without saying. If you were a hotel, you'd be a grand one. I'd lean on your doorbell. Yeah, you were a hotel. Alan, U of U, I think we're talking University of Utah, is best known for their Cancer Research Center and being founded by Brigham Young as Desert University in the 1850s. The sports success are a relatively new development in the last 35 years. Tech also beat a team in purple, talking about last night against ACU. It's always good to do that. Standing at a big hotel, sucking on a bottle of gin. Rick Majerus was a character, talking about famous people from the University of Utah. Keith Van Horn, Rick Majerus, Alex Smith, and I'm sure there's like one or two others. That's really about it. When we're talking about famous people from the University of Utah and why we would care if Utah leaves the Big 12, you got Rick Majerus, fat basketball coach, Keith Van Horn, and I'm sure there's somebody else, maybe one or two, but not many. If they want to leave the Big 12, it's okay. I don't think anybody is going to really care that much. All right, we told you we are going to be at the Silver Spur Trade Show, the Lubbock Gun and Blade Show, coming up this weekend at the Civic Center on Saturday afternoon. And I'm glad we've got her here to visit with us about it, tell you a little bit about what's going to come up and all the cool stuff happening out there, is Kim Sansom from the Silver Spur Trade Shows. Kim, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We are so glad you're here. How is your world today?
Thank you.
All right. So am I right? This is 20 years now of Silver Spur Trade Shows?
20 years. It's unbelievable.
Okay, how did it get started? What made you go, I think I want to do this, and we'll just keep doing it for 20 years?
Well, I've actually been at the gun shows for 36 years, and I just my niche. So went off from another company and started my own.
All right. Well, we're going to be out there on Saturday, and a lot of people that are watching this broadcast right now, they're familiar with you, with Chad Hasty and our good friends there on KFYO and Newstalk 95.1, 790. I might have spent a few years up there on that radio station, but if you've never gone to a Gun and Blade show, what should they expect this weekend?
A lot of stuff. A lot of people go, oh, gun show, there's a lot of guns. There's a lot of guns, don't get me wrong, because, that's what we're all about, is shooting, gun scene. But you got a lot of other stuff. It's a great place to come buy gifts for the, husband, Father's Day, moms, women are shooting more. But there's just a lot of unique stuff out there. So, it's a very interesting thing to go to. I tell people there's a lot of history out there, and just a lot of things. People like to bring their kids out there to familiarize them with stuff and talk to them about hunting and shooting. And
tell the folks about some of the vendors that will be out there. Who can folks expect to see? Some of the different companies, and even food and beverage is going to be out there as well.
Right. Well, we have a big array of. I'll list some of the stuff that we will have there. New, used, collectible guns, gun accessories, holsters, leather goods. If you're into El Paso saddlery, leather rigs and stuff, going to be a show. We have a Kydex holster guy that's there. Knives of all kinds. We even have one of our custom knife makers. He does knife sharpening. So if you got some dull knives at home while you're walking around shopping, he can be sharpening those knives. AR, tactical and accessories. Oh, sorry.
No, no, I was going to say, I think sometimes for a lot of people, maybe that are going to a gun and blade show for the first time or whatever, they're like, what do I need to bring? What documentation, documents do I need to bring on my side if I want to purchase something? What would you tell them that they need to have on hand?
They need to have their driver's license or a Texas ID. That's
Okay.
the main thing. And most vendors will do credit cards, but we still have some that just do cash. So it's always nice. There is an ATM on site, but it's just nice to go ahead and have cash on you. And it's buy, sell, and trade. So, you're tired of your old hunting rifle, or you want to buy some accessories for it, you are welcome to bring it in. Make sure it's unloaded. We have security at the door to check it and strap it. Safety is, our very most biggest, highest priority.
And you mentioned it again. This is a great place to bring kids out, full families, everybody who wants to come out.
Absolutely. And Silver Spur is offering for your kids, and we will pay for it, for them to go through the hunter education course on Saturday. You do need to sign up online, tpwd.org, or we have a link on our website, and I believe she posted on our Facebook page. So, your kids need that if they're going to get out and go hunting on their own, but it's also really great gun education.
Now, I mentioned earlier that, probably a lot of our audience had probably heard you before on with Chad Hasty, and I've heard your visits with him. But I again want to kind of circle all the way back to the beginning of this and everything. This has got to be a passion for you. There's so much work that goes into putting this on. What was it that made you want to do this and make it happen so many times? Not just in Lubbock. You guys are all over the area and West Texas and everything else. This ain't easy to do. Why do you do it?
No, it's time consuming. I love it. I love the office work. I love the paperwork, believe it or not. I love the people. I love traveling. I do not know if I could ever sit at a desk or be in one place 5 days a week. I'm not made for that. I love the veneer of one end, because I've tried some other different shows, and this is just where I fit. And so I just, go with the flow with it. And here I am all these many years later. I just had no idea.
All right. And you might not be able to answer this question. It's not a trick question, but
okay.
Over the years, the most interesting person you have met doing one of these shows, whether it might be a vendor or otherwise.
I would have to say Steven Seagal came to one of our Albuquerque shows. One of his guys arranged and told us about him coming, and so we made it, real special for him. But I think that was probably the coolest. And we did have a UFC fighter, but I'm not into that. But I did meet him and get a picture with him. But I think that was probably the most interesting person that we got to meet at a gun show.
So now, when Steven Seagal came in, was he Steven Seagal, or was he trying to be like under the radar, or was he like, I'm Steven Seagal?
It's kind of hard to be under the radar when you got 3 bodyguards around you.
Oh, you're telling me? You're talking about me going to the grocery store. Let me tell you, it's a mess.
Yeah, it was so fun because we didn't announce that he was coming or anything. He just wanted to come to the show. And him walking down the aisle and the double takes, and then some of the women that would realize who he was would be like, screaming and running down the aisle.
Yeah, again, me and Steven, we can relate so much to so many things. Kim, all right, so let's go back and tell them one more time the hours, when it's going to get going this weekend, and why they need to be out there at the Lubbock Civic Center Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome. We'll be there 9 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 5 Sunday. Admission is cash only. So if you can bring cash for admission, but we do have an ATM. And you're going to find something out there. There's stuff for women. There's stuff for everybody in the family. So you're going to have fun.
I'm looking forward to being out there. I appreciate you coming on. Hasty's been hogging up all the cool stuff for years against me. And now, we may have an arm wrestling contest or like a hot wing eating contest between me and him. And I will take him down. I promise you on that. Hey, Kim, we'll visit again on Thursday. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Have a great weekend. And for everybody around here in West Texas, we'll pray for a little rain. All right.
That's right. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Kim Sansom, everybody from the Silver Spur Trade and Gun Show. Like I said, we're going to be out there on Saturday afternoon doing our show live, and hope you guys get a chance to be a part of it. Come out there, bring your friends, bring your family, and everybody else. It'll be a great thing. So, all right, we got a few minutes left before you guys get out of here. Your favorite 2 Joe Ely songs of all time. What do you got on that for me tonight? What do you got? Texas Tech baseball. And does anyone care if Utah leaves the Big 12? I don't think you do. All right. Give Me a Ride to Heaven is always a show favorite. Yeah, and that was, Jeff, that was not that. Oh, gosh, who did that song? That was not an Ely song. He played it sometimes. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and tonight he's going to use your car. Jesse, Ely might have played on a jukebox at Speeds. Frequently had to play pool there after a small infraction with a baseball player or two. That doesn't sound good. Fake Natalie Maines, who may or may not be the real Natalie Maines, who sang with Joe Ely numerous times. Hi, Ed, how are you? I'm good. Glad you're fine. Wise Man once said, I don't care how you bring them, but bring them young. Thank you for the Utah sports talk that you give us. Hey. That's what we do. UFC fighter at a gun show is more of one Ron Bro speed. Rob, it's Rob Bro. So a UFC fighter walks into a gun show with Ron Bro. Yeah, Terry Allen did Give Me a Ride. Yeah. Did Terry write it, or who got the writing credit on that? And you know, Jeff, Terry Allen may have written. For some reason, I think somebody else has the writing credit on that. And I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. It happens. You know, I've been known to be wrong. All right, jump in here. Texas Tech baseball. Are you getting a glimmer of hope that they can find enough things over the next month to win 4 games in May at the Big 12 tournament? Are you getting a glimmer of hope or not? 2 best Joe Ely songs of all time. They're on the website, theraiderland.com. By the way, you should check out the morning column, if for no other reason than that. Then the links I give you, the Farm Aid shows, but the Farm Aid show was Settle for Love. If you hadn't seen some of that from 1990, good Lord. I mean, people, freaking Joe Ely, 1990, ruling the roost a little bit. We didn't get into the portal too much tonight. We can do that a little bit more tomorrow. Basketball is certainly not done. And typically they're not done until into the summer. So don't worry about point guard and a big guy. You're probably going to find a point guard out there that'll be serviceable and a backup big guy. I wouldn't worry about that too much. And then, heck, I don't know after that. You tell me. I want to thank Kim Sansom again, jumping on here tonight. Appreciate that. We're looking forward to being out there. Like I said, Hasty's been hogging up that deal for years. Just taking all the credit for it, everything else. Well, Raiderland is showing up. It'll be like the the fight scene in Anchorman. Yeah, we're showing up. Nobody touched the hair, nothing to the face. We're going to be on the scene. Do that. Hasty's like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't even know if Hasty was on the air today. I assume he was. He's still on radio. And that's what he told me earlier this week. He said, I can't go to lunch today. I got to do a radio show. I'm like, really? Are you sure? Chad Hasty, KFYO, one of our friends. One of our former producers. We have so many, the old Williams and Hyatt show list of producers and engineers that are in Lubbock media today is it's like an odd coaching tree that we should probably have somebody do a diagram sometime. You go, all right, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy called in a lot, and now he's got to show this guy worked with, you get the idea. You got to hit the end stream thing. That's how this thing ends. All right. Tomorrow, What If Wednesday, one of our favorite days of the week that ends in Y. We love alternative history, alt history here in Raiderland. We will give you a alt history question tomorrow and ask you, what if this happened instead of this? How would things be different? I don't know if it's going to be sports or otherwise. Could be, might not be. We'll have that. We will also be looking forward to the weekend with Texas Tech baseball, softball, and otherwise. And maybe I still think there's some football stuff out there we need to talk about. And then when it comes to Big 12 and Utah leaving, we'll leave it up to Kurtz, I guess, and those guys to figure it all out. I want you to do one thing for us tonight. Three things for us tonight. Share this on whatever platform you're on. Whatever platform you're currently on. If you're not on our YouTube channel, right now it's Raiderland, or Twitter X, go follow us there, and vice versa. If you're on Twitter and not on our Facebook page, go follow us there. It doesn't cost anything. Grow each of them, get more people in on the conversation, and that does a great thing for our wonderful sponsors like United Supermarkets, like Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty, and like the Silver Spur Trade Show, Gun and Blade Show coming up this weekend in Lubbock at the Civic Center, which we will be broadcasting from. Can't thank them enough. You guys are the best. Really appreciate it. Pray for rain in West Texas. If you didn't get it tonight, maybe you'll get it tomorrow. If you don't get it tomorrow, maybe you'll get it on Thursday and Friday. We'll find out. We'll see. All right. See you in the morning. D. Raiderland.